The Cats of Consciousness, by Joseph Kelly, Chapter 11, Actions, Reactions, and Interactions, Engaging with the World. A cat moves through the world with perfect economy of action, each movement purposeful, each response measured, each interaction authentic. Unknown. Watch a cat navigate its environment and you'll witness a master class in engaged presence. Whether stalking a toy, greeting a familiar friend, or responding to an unexpected sound, every action flows from a place of complete authenticity. There's no gap between intention and action, no second-guessing or unnecessary movement, just pure, intentional engagement with the present moment. The dance of action. Like a cat coiled to spring, every action begins as potential energy waiting to be expressed. Understanding this moment of possibility, the space between impulse and action, opens new doors for conscious engagement with life. Maria, a performance artist, describes her discovery of this truth. Maria: I used to think action was about forcing something to happen. Now I understand it's more like surfing, feeling the energy that's already there and moving with it intentionally. The power isn't in pushing but in aligning with the natural flow of movement. The art of response. Our reactions often reveal more about our patterns than about the triggering situations themselves. Think of how differently cats might respond to the same stimulus. One hiding, another investigating, a third remaining unperturbed. These varied responses remind us that we too have choice in how we meet life's moments. Thomas, a conflict resolution specialist, shares this insight. Thomas: most people believe their reactions are inevitable, that certain triggers must produce certain responses. Learning that we can create space between stimulus and response transforms everything. It's not about suppressing natural reactions, but about expanding our range of possible responses. The space between. In the tiny gap between stimulus and response lies our greatest power for conscious living. Like a cat that pauses for a split second before deciding whether to chase or ignore a movement, we can learn to find this precious space of choice. Creating response space. Sarah, an emergency room nurse, transformed her reactivity through what she calls micro-pauses. Sarah: in the chaos of the ER, I discovered that even a half-second pause could change everything. It's like creating a tiny bubble of stillness in which to choose my response, rather than being driven by automatic reactions. Try this gentle practice for developing response flexibility, the pause practice. Notice when you feel triggered. Take one conscious breath, feel your feet on the ground, ask yourself, what's needed here? Choose your response with intention. The widening circle. When facing a challenging situation, imagine, how might this look from a different perspective? What would my wisest self do? How could I respond in a way that serves all involved? The nature of interaction. Every interaction is like a dance, with its own rhythm and energy. Consider how a cat might approach another cat. There's a delicate negotiation of space, energy, and intention. Our human interactions contain these same elements, though we often engage less consciously. Elena, a communication coach, describes what she calls interaction awareness. Elena: most people focus solely on words, missing the deeper currents of energy and intention that shape our exchanges. When we tune into these subtler dimensions, we discover new possibilities for connection and understanding. The 3 levels of interaction. First, surface exchange. This is the visible aspects of interaction: words, actions, and obvious responses. Like the tip of an iceberg, this is what's easily observable. Second, energy exchange. The flow of vitality and attention between people. Notice how some interactions energize while others deplete. Lastly, field of relationship. The larger context created by our shared presence. Think of how a room feels different depending on the quality of interaction happening within it. The art of conscious action. Like a cat that moves with perfect precision, conscious action flows from a place of clear intention and present moment awareness. This isn't about overthinking our movements, but about bringing greater awareness to how we engage with life. Finding your natural rhythm. Michael, a former executive who struggled with burnout, discovered the importance of aligning action with natural rhythms. Michael: I used to push through everything at the same intense pace. learning to sense when to act and when to pause, like a cat that alternates between intense focus and complete rest, transformed my effectiveness and well-being. Try these practices for developing action awareness. First, the energy-action alignment. Before taking action, check in with your energy level, the action's importance, the timing's rightness, and your true motivation. Next, the conscious engagement practice. When beginning any activity, take a breath to center yourself, feel your body's readiness, set a clear intention, and move from this place of awareness. Transforming reaction patterns. Our habitual reactions often run on automatic pilot, like well-worn paths in our nervous system. Rachel, a trauma therapist, explains, "Rachel, these patterns usually developed as protection, but they may no longer serve us. The key is bringing gentle awareness to our reactive patterns while cultivating new response possibilities." Working with trigger moments. When you notice yourself reacting, first response. Acknowledge the reaction by saying, "I'm being triggered." Ground yourself through breath and body. Remember, you are safe in this moment. Next, exploration. Notice the pattern with curiosity. What does this reaction protect? What other responses might be possible? Finally, conscious choice. Consider what's truly needed. Choose a response that aligns with your values, and move forward with awareness. The dance of daily interaction. Like a cat moving gracefully through its territory, we can learn to navigate our daily interactions with both awareness and fluidity. This isn't about perfecting every exchange, but about bringing greater consciousness to our engagement with others and our environment. Morning integration. Begin your day with what I call conscious engagement setting. Take a quiet moment to feel your body's present state, notice your emotional weather, sense your energy level, and set an intention for how you wish to engage. Lisa, a teacher, shares how this practice transformed her classroom presence. Lisa: "Starting each day with this check-in helps me respond to my students from a place of awareness rather than habit. Even on challenging days, this morning anchor helps me stay connected to my intention." Navigating challenging interactions. Even the most skilled cat occasionally encounters situations that test its composure. The key isn't to avoid challenges, but to meet them with growing awareness and skill. The practice of presence in conflict. David, a mediator, offers this wisdom. David: "Conflict becomes transformative when we stay present to both our own experience and the other person's reality. It's like watching two cats navigate a shared space. There's a constant dance of awareness, adjustment, and response." Try this approach when tension arises. First, ground yourself. Feel your feet on the floor, take a conscious breath, and create internal space. Second, maintain dual awareness. Stay connected to your experience, remain open to the other's perspective, and hold both with compassionate attention. Finally, respond with intention. Speak from your center, listen with your whole being, and move toward understanding. Building sustainable interaction patterns. Just as a cat naturally develops efficient ways of moving through its environment, we can cultivate interaction patterns that serve both ourselves and others. Professional contexts. Notice how you engage in work situations. What patterns support collaboration? How do you maintain boundaries? And where might you need to adjust your engagement style? Personal relationships. Bring awareness to intimate connections. How do you signal availability? What patterns create trust? And where could you offer more authentic presence? Community engagement. Consider your broader interactions. How do you contribute to group dynamics? What patterns foster inclusion? And where might you expand your interaction repertoire? The art of recovery and reset. Like a cat that can shake off a startling experience and return to calm presence, we can develop skills for releasing tension and resetting our interaction patterns. The reset practice. When you notice tension or misalignment, 1. Acknowledge what's happening. 2. Take a conscious pause. 3. Release physical tension. 4. Reset your intention. And 5. Re-engage with fresh awareness. Looking ahead. As we prepare to explore knownness, moments, and experiences in our next chapter, notice how your growing awareness of actions, reactions, and interactions influences your experience of the present moment. Like our feline friends who move seamlessly between past experience and present engagement, we too can develop more fluid and conscious ways of being in the world. Remember, each interaction offers an opportunity for greater awareness and more authentic engagement. Like a cat that never doubts its right to move through the world in its own unique way, you too can develop trust in your natural rhythm of engagement. Your actions, reactions, and interactions create the visible dance of your consciousness in the world. As you continue this exploration, trust that each moment of awareness, each conscious choice, each authentic engagement contributes to your growing capacity for meaningful connection and purposeful action. Integration notes. Before closing this chapter, consider, how has your awareness of action patterns shifted? What new response possibilities have you discovered? Where do you notice greater choice in your interactions? What patterns would you like to develop further? Let these reflections guide your continued exploration of conscious engagement with life.